I mean, by November standards, this isn't bad, and our temperatures have been sort of at or above normal for quite a long time. That will change, especially tomorrow and Monday, but if you're going to the game tonight, just be prepared for some nasty weather. Rain, for the most part, may see some snowflakes sprinkled in with it by the end of the game, but it's a 100% chance that it's going to rain. So you definitely want to be prepared for that. Don't say, gee, I think I'll leave our rain gear in the car, because it's probably not going to be raining that much during the tailgaters, right? So don't be fooled. By the time the game starts tonight, it'll be raining.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they'll get that clear weather for the tailgating.
Yeah, they've got some nice weather out there, and the early tailgaters out there already.
There were lines waiting
They're
to
already
get in.
there. Yeah. So Notre Dame and Navy go at it today at the stadium. Of course, Notre Dame has had some issues. They lost their first 2 games. Now they've won 6 in a row. But we've got a little poetry for you this morning, what we like to call the weather could be worse. Do they still have issues? Oh, yeah. Field goal kicking has gotten so bad, Coach Freeman, for a good luck charm, sent a crew behind the uprights to build the broadside of a barn. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I don't know if they could hit the broadside of a barn. It's been pretty bad. So I loved his press conference last week when they asked him what the problem was with field goal kicking. He says, well, the problem is the ball is not going between the 2 uprights, and that's pretty much it. That defines it. Now, I think things will improve. I think they're going to get better. And of course, there have been some injuries and some other things that have entered into that. But that is an issue. And of course, with a wet field today, it could also be a problem. So we'll see how things go. Over at Notre Dame Stadium right now, you can see the roads have cleared up. That long line of people waiting to get into the tailgate lots has cleared up. You can see a few cars out there in some of the Joyce and Stadium lots this morning. Here at WNDU, it's 42 degrees with a lovely view of the campus there. And up in St. Joe, Michigan, it's just about 41 degrees with light variable winds out there. You can see a few waves hitting on the North Pier there, but again, these are not terribly high right now. This will change as we get into tomorrow and Monday, though, with those winds picking up and coming out of the northwest. Live radar right now. First alert, we'll kind of zoom in here, and you can see just a few sprinkles around the Michiana area. I did have a trace of rainfall this morning in our gauge here at WNDU and a few sprinkles on my windshield, but really not too bad. What we're waiting for is the big storm that's out here in the Midwest. This is South Dakota. You can see some snow flying there into the western and northwestern portions of Iowa. Down around Omaha, they're getting kind of a mix of snow and rain at the moment. So that is going to be an issue for us as it moves in later tonight, starting as rain and then changing over to snow. So this is the first alert days that we've issued. First alert weather days Sunday and Monday. Not today, but the next couple of days. And Sunday will feature some morning rain, snow mix, but then it'll become all snow. As you can see, that high temperature of 36 degrees, temperatures dropping below freezing for a good portion of that. And on Monday, not even getting above freezing for a high. So we're likely to see some lake effect accumulation in some of the typical areas there. This is what it looks like. And of course, we draw these patterns out. This is a wide coverage area. Lake effect tends to come down in very narrow bands, as you know, but it's hard to know exactly where they're going to get set up. As we zoom in here, anywhere in this area right here could see some significant accumulation. We're talking about, maybe even 3 to 6 inches of accumulation in some of those narrow bands. Outside of that, you're really talking about 1 inch to 2 inches, and farther out in the white area, probably just a trace to maybe 1 inch of snowfall. But this is the first snowfall of the season, and that means a lot because, we forget how to drive in these conditions. So watch out for low visibility if you get underneath one of those lake effect snow squalls. During the daytime hours, the bridges and overpasses should be maybe a little bit slick, but especially at night, they could be icy and snow covered. Same thing with the main roads, mostly just wet during the day, but at night in those sub-freezing conditions, they could become quite slick. So you want to be giving yourself some extra time out there. Notre Dame at home tonight. The kickoff is at 7:30. Navy comes in. Navy has won every game until last week, but you can see what the conditions look like. Mostly cloudy skies for your tailgater, topping around 50 degrees. Not much chance of rain if it is just a little sprinkle. But by the time kickoff comes around, you can see that goes to 100% chance of precipitation and temperatures dropping into the 40s, into the 30s, and by the end of the night, we could actually see a few snowflakes in there. This is what it looks like on Future Track. back as these temperatures jump into the high 40s today, but you can see the rain arriving by about 5 o'clock tonight. It gets a lot heavier as we go through the game. And yes, those are snowflakes up to the northeast of us there. And those probably will start to mix in as that colder air filters in this way by the end of the game. I don't think you'll see any accumulation by the end of the game tonight, but certainly tomorrow, as you see those lake effect bands beginning to drift in, coming from west to east, and there's a nice thick one right around noontime tomorrow, that probably will have an impact on us with accumulating lake effect snowfall. So be careful out there. Sunday and Monday, first alert weather days. Driving conditions could be slick and hazardous. Other people away from that lake effect area probably won't get much in the way of anything other than the rain that's coming through this afternoon.
But it's the first snowfall of the season,
Yep.
so definitely be careful.
Yeah, it's all people always forget, how to drive and stuff, and there's no residual salt on the roads to really melt things. It
true.
comes down right away. So.
Yeah, so caution. That
Yep.
is the big name of the game.
There you go.
But we are going to turn now to what everyone is